our Thursday training. We're excited that everyone could get on. We just wanted to see if there's any rank ups that we wanted to celebrate in our team. Does anyone, Liz, you probably know better than us. I didn't have any rank ups on my team specifically, but if there's anyone that has a coach they want to celebrate, we would love to do that at the beginning. And Alina, will you go ahead and push record too? Oh, you did. Never mind. We're good.
I'll just give a shout out to both Stacy and Charity. I see them on. They have brought on a lot of new clients, really growing their business these last few months. So that's really exciting. Let's see. And I think that, like, whether you ranked up to a new rank or not, I think it's just so exciting, the new clients that you're going to help. So maybe let's open it up for just a second. And if anyone wants to share something that they're excited about, whether something they're doing in their business or a celebration from a client that's doing well, let's just open it up for a second and just share some successes from this past month.
I'll share one. So I posted her picture yesterday, but one of my really good friends met or hit her goal weight and worked up the courage to post her before and after. And that was really fun because that, yeah, Allie. And when she started the program, she was very hesitant. She did not like anything that we were doing. She kind of got pressured into trying it. And so for her to come full circle 1 year later was really, really cool to see.
Awesome.
That's awesome. I read that. I thought she would make a great coach. I'm sure that you've talked to her about that.
We've been bugging her for a year to do it. And
when the time is right. But her story was amazing.
Yeah, it was fun to listen to her. Is there anyone else that has someone they want to brag about? Another client, another coach?
Well, can I say something? No. So Cammie was willing to, my daughter-in-law, her sister just started as a new client with Cammie yesterday. And Jenna's going to be really awesome. And I want to just shout out to Cammie here because I really appreciate her. The dynamics of the family were going to be tricky. And it's someone that I know is really in a place that wants to learn and grow and needs that help. And I know that it's going to have a trickle effect on their whole family. And so I'm just really excited. So just want to say thank you.
Yeah, and she's super excited. She was really, really cute on the phone yesterday.
Yeah, she is. She's in a good place to start. So
happy to help. That's what I love about our community is that we're all to help one another, and sometimes it doesn't matter who gets what client or who starts what client. It's just helping someone else. So super exciting. Anyone else before we get started? No? Okay. Well, I will jump into our training. And Liz, I'm kind of planning on you helping because you and I kind of talked about this. We last minute, like within the last 2 hours, decided to do this as some of the leaders because we think it would be really beneficial to share with all of you some of the things that we're doing. And we're going to talk today about setting goals. So I want everyone, if they have their map, to grab it. And if they don't, it's okay. I'm going to show you a map as well. But I think every month we've heard lots of trainings on using your map the right way. And I just ordered, when I ordered Dr. A's new book, which, by the way, if you don't have them yet, shout out, mine came, super excited to have them. But on the same order, I thought I'm just going to order a pad of the maps. It's like $3 for these. And I love that, I mean, it's easy to print them off too. But I just want to make sure that I have plenty because I like to scratch things out throughout the month. And we wanted to talk first about the map. So if you have never used a map, I know we're recording this, super important that you get familiar with this once you are, I would say, senior coach or above and trying to acquire new clients. I had a brand new coach ask me, she got on the Tuesday 20 training, was feeling really overwhelmed because she didn't have any clients and she was trying to fill out her map and she didn't know how to do it. And that's okay, but this is a really great planning tool. So how many by raise of hand have filled their map out this month in detail? Okay, Good. So I see a few hands. A couple things, and I'll show you my map that is like my this month map. It is like a mess, right? There's always things scratched out, but I have learned that you never want to leave blank spaces. And what that means is, like, on my top 10 potentials and things like that, I just have like the 10, and then I have an ongoing list that goes on. I have spaces up here. And that's really important. And I've gotten in the habit, and it's taken like 6 years to do this, so don't be discouraged. But I have tried really hard to fill it out at the end of the month before and send it to Liz. And I've tried, I think I've done pretty well at it the last few months. But that just kind of helps me get my focus. But what we really wanted to talk about today is not our map. It's taking what we have on our map and making it into like transactional step-by-step goals that we can do with our businesses. So I'm going to show you, and Liz does this on her whiteboard. I have a whiteboard, but I just have found if I have it in a notebook that I take everywhere, it's easier for me because I see it more. But I have done this on my paper, and it's almost like a business goal map, if you can see that. So I have a couple categories. I have the top are my goals for May. So what I want to see happen, not necessarily what my rank is at the end of May, but what I want to do. So like one of my very specific things, I'm working really hard right now to get my frontline volume up to 8,000, because to me that's really, really important for my business. I've never had frontline volume that high. So I'm really trying to do that. And I know based on my map, so I took my goals from my map, and I know that in order to do that, I probably need between 5 and 10 new clients to really get to that comfortable level of 8,000. So the next thing on my goal list that I made is how many new clients. So I have on there 10 because I want to make sure that I'm getting enough. I don't want to like just set an easy goal to reach. And I have on there that out of those 10, I'm going to give myself 3 clients who are reactivating. So 3 clients that I call up that haven't been active in a few years, are in maintenance, just checking on them. And then I also have underneath that, I have kind of done my math, and I kind of know how many interested calls I probably need to do in order to get those 7 brand new clients, or how many health assessments. So I set a goal of this month I want to do 20 health assessments. And the next one is I thought I'm going to really push myself because I don't like Facebook Live. I do it, but I make myself do it. So I'm going to do 10 Facebook Lives in May, and I've only done 1. So I've got to get going on that. And then I have a brand new coach that I'm working to help her get to senior coach this month. So those are my May goals. And then I've taken the lines on paper that we've been taught and applied it to this. So you can see these are all my health assessments, and I have 1 through 20. And so each day when I do a health assessment or whatever, I write the person's name, and the little star means someone that signed up as a client, so I can see where I've got that. And then I have my clients that are over here that are listed, my 10 that is my goal. So it's giving me just really specific things to work towards, which I have found is really, really helpful in my business. And I want you to put things on this goal sheet that are meaningful to you. So I have a really big goal in my life right now to get lots of personal development, and I just need that in my life. And so one of my goals in May, which might be more than ever that you're willing to do or wanting to do, is that I want to finish 3 books in the month of May. And I don't read them. I'm not a reader. But on Audible, I always love to have an audiobook playing. And so I have that listed on my sheet as well. And I love that you can put anything meaningful on here. You could say, if you're struggling with 3, 3, and 3, that you want to start this many conversations, or that you want to add this many friends in the month of May. And it just gives you that line by line way to see progress. And it's been really, really helpful to me to be able to fill in these lines of, okay, I've only done 8 health assessments, but the month isn't halfway over, so I'm right on track. I'm right where I need to be to get to my goal. So in Dr. A's book, he talks about setting goals on his website, and he talks about SMART goals. Does anyone know what those mean, what the SMART stands for?
Was it specific?
Yep, specific is one.
And Measured.
Measurable is 1. Do you guys remember? This is good then. I'm going to look it up just to make sure I don't miss anything. But SMART goals, so they're specific, measurable, assignable, relevant, and time-based, okay? So you want to make sure, or assignable, another word for it would be achievable, something that's within your reach. We don't want to set a goal if you are an executive director to be a presidential director by the end of May, right? You want it to be within your reach and within something that is attainable, but something that is also stretching you as a coach. It is really stretching me to try and get 10 clients in the month of May. That's a lot for me. And I don't know if I'll get to 10. That's my goal, and I'm working towards it. But we want to set goals that are achievable. So 1, be specific when we set these goals. That's why I love the idea of lines on paper for health assessments, for Facebook Lives. I'm being very, very specific with what I'm trying to achieve, because I know those things are like, we call them what are they called? Income producing activities. Is that what they are, Liz? Just, you know, things that are going to get me results. They're going to help me get the word out. I might not get a client from the Facebook Live, but it helps lots of people see it. Hi, Brooke. And then I love the measurable. So make sure it's measurable. At the end of May, when you look back, you can look back and say, okay, this is what I set up for myself. I had the goal to do 20 health assessments, and you can see exactly where you fell short. You're not just saying, I did my best. You can see that it was actually measured and how far you came. The achievable we talked about, make sure they're relevant. So if it's not relevant, then don't put it on your goal sheet. Don't say, you know, something that's totally away from what's on your map. If you're, you know, you just want to make sure that it's relevant to your business at your time. And then the last one is time bound, and that's why we do it for each month. I started doing this in April, and I got really specific in May doing this, but it's been really helpful for me to just really focus in. And when I don't know what to do some days, if I'm, you know, trying to get in action and trying to touch my business that day, it gives me something really specific to do to touch the business. I can say I need more health assessments, so I'm going to try and get 2 health assessments set up today, or whatever the case is. Can you guys think of any other goals that you can include other than what I shared? So other than, you know, health assessments, clients, Facebook Live, are there any other categories that you guys would add to this? Maybe Liz, that you've added to yours?
I have a category for old clients, like following up with old clients, especially if you have a goal to reactivate some old clients. So I call them maintenance checks, where I'll just call an old client and just say, hey, I was just thinking about you and wanted to do a maintenance check with you to see how you're doing with your healthy habits. How are things going? Is there anything that you're working on before summer? You know, and what's your plan for that? Are you going to just work on your healthy habits, or do you want to jump back on 5-in-1 and get that off quicker? You know, so that's just an easy way to, you know, I don't know, a lot of those old clients have always say, I was just thinking about you and I've been meaning to call you. And sometimes if you reach out to them, they're ready to go. So that one, sometimes I'll do like recipe shares, how many recipes I'll share on Facebook. I love doing personal goals. So if you have a personal goal, a spiritual goal, like having that on there and making sure that's a priority. Just like Cami said with her books, but it might be with exercise, or, you know, if you struggle with drinking your water or something like that, something that's going to help you. And then like just remembering to share what you're working on. Cami's really great at sharing what books she's reading. And so I like that. With my map, I always put it in a page protector, a plastic page protector, and I just take it with me everywhere. That way, if I'm waiting for one of my kids at practice, I can look at my map. And if you're ever wondering, what can I do today? There's 4 sections of a map. There's client acquisition, client support, coach acquisition, and coach support. So client acquisition would be your people that are on your heart that you're building relationships with. Maybe you'll go send someone a message or start a conversation with someone on Facebook, or give them a call. Client support, those numbers that are already on your map. Look through there. Maybe you need to reach out to someone, see how they're doing. You know, your client check-in calls. Coach acquisition, those people that are on your mind about coaching, inviting them to Coach Explorers or planting that seed. And then coach support. So up on the top of your map, it has your coaches, their goals. So maybe you'll just check in with them, see how they're doing with their goals, and help them, you know, if they haven't done their training, get them going on that. So I just love that the map is like your whole business in one paper that you can take with you. And then I like to put those goals on the back so that they're always with me.
Yeah. And I love to, some of you might have this calendar because they did these, I don't know, Go Global or convention or something. These are really hard to take with you. They're not great. They don't have, like the backside is the next month. And so it's hard to do like what Liz was talking about. But if you get them just printed off online or get the pad that you can order from the Coach Business Store, then it's a blank back. So you have a whole back that you could write all of these goals on, the SMART goals for the month. It would be really great. And I love that Liz mentioned one, the maintenance checks. I hadn't thought of that for some reason. I don't know why my brain didn't even think of that. And there was something else you mentioned, Liz, that I thought was really good that you normally do. Oh,
also, you might have a goal on how many Coach Explorers you're going to invite people to, like, yeah. Or if there's an event, how many people you're going to invite to an event, or maybe you have a goal to host an event. So it could be something like that also.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Is we have all these Coach Explorers. There's usually like 2 nights a week. That I think there's one tonight. There's also the event tonight. But how many times have we invited people to that? It's really easy to invite current clients to those events. The thing to have on here is that I'm going to invite 10 people to a Coach Explorer, or I'm going to invite 3 people to every Coach Explorer, like, you know, whatever. The event tonight is a great one. Have you invited anyone to that? We've had local events. I know Lena just hosted one coming up next Thursday, so a week from tonight. And anyone is welcome to invite clients, even if you can't come as a coach. So those are really easy things to get people to come to, and that could be a good goal with inviting. Is anyone else working on, have you guys done this before? Is this something that's new or helpful, or is anyone working on specific things like this that they would like to share?
Hey, Cami, I don't have, sorry you guys can't see my picture. My, the camera's not working on my computer, but I don't necessarily have something to add, but I just wanted to thank you guys, because I feel like I've been coaching for 3.5 years, and I still just learned so much just from what you and Liz were sharing. Like, actually, you know, often when I filled out my map, I would put down the number of clients, new clients I wanted, you know, that month, new coaches, you know, those types of things. But finding out how many health assessments, you know, you need to do, or like, you know, making that guess of, and having your goal be more like, how many health assessments do I want to do? That's been something that I've struggled with. And partly it's because I feel like I didn't quite know how to have people interested in doing a health assessment with me. Do you know what I mean? Like that type of a thing. So do you guys have any tips? Like I feel like I'm getting closer to understanding that concept better and to being able to, I don't know, to do that. But sometimes it's difficult because I feel like I'm not sure what to do to meet that goal of just doing health assessments with people. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. And I think it's something that comes and goes. It's really easy to set up health assessments when we have these little health blitz, like, or health challenges. And that's where I got a lot of my health assessments to start this month, is the sparked interest from the May Day Health Challenge. But I think too, it's just starting lots of conversations. That has been, I mean, I've always been active on Facebook. I get memories that pop up from 6 years ago as a coach, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was posting before and afters then. Like, people are probably so sick of me. But I think that, like, I've made a shift from just posting on Facebook to being really, really intentional with the things I post. So if I notice that someone is liking posts, or I'm thinking of someone specific that I want to share the program with, I try to find a story to share on my page that is applicable to them. So for instance, I had a girl a guy that is wanting to, like, he's been looking into the program. So I made sure to post a before and after of a male going that, you know, had a great weight loss story that reminded me of him. So he would see that, because I know that at this point he's watching. And that's been easier for me to set up health assessments that way, because I can see that he liked the picture, or I could say, hey, I thought of you when I heard this story. You know, I would love to just see if the program's a good fit for you and just share with you what I do. And a lot of times I've just gotten to the point where I'm more comfortable doing that. I don't necessarily, like, I don't want it to sound like I'm cold calling people by any means, but just being really, really intentional with who I'm sharing with and the conversations I'm having. And that's been helpful to me. But I don't know, does anyone else have any good ideas of how they've really, like, been able to start establishing those health assessments?
I have an idea. When I share a recipe, like a picture of a recipe that I say, I'm going to send this out, who wants me to send this recipe, or I'm sending out my, you know, healthy snack tip list. And I have people that want me to send it to them. It's great just to not just send it, you know, yes, we put their email in our connections list and connect with them, but take that a step further. Send them a message, say, hey, I'm sending out my healthy recipe tonight. Let me know how you like it. And then just ask, is there anything that you're working on with your health right now? Or do you just love healthy recipes? You know, and then if they're working on something, hey, I'd love to share more about what I do. You know, I'm just getting the word out about my program. I'd love to just chat with you about your goals. Maybe I can give you some tips on that. So, like, just when you're adding something of value on Facebook and someone is interested and wants more info, like trying to move that to a call, you know, ask them if they're working on their health and just say, hey, I might have some tips that will help you, and to be able to get on the phone. Also, with this list that Cami talked about, I like to call it our action board, because we have our dream board or our vision board of all the things that we want, but a lot of times we don't have action steps. So to practice this, not just with your business, but if there's something like that you're really working toward, you know, for example, if you are wanting to buy a new car, you know, maybe you need a new car, to actually have the action steps of what is going to make that attainable. How much is that going to cost? How much do you need to save? How many clients would that mean to be able to be making that much more? You know, and then what are the action steps to get those clients? So look at your vision board, look at what your dreams are, and then actually planning out those steps to make that happen. So this is like just a great tool to be able us to accomplish those bigger dreams that we want. So I like even just planning that out, like any little vision or dream that you have, start planning out what are the actions, whether it be with your health, if you want to get to a certain weight. It's like the structural tension, you know, that we've learned, those action steps that are going to help you get there.
I love that. And I love that you just mentioned structural tension, because as you were talking, I was thinking, this is exactly what structural tension is if you start with the end, right? We start with the end result of what we want. So, you know, my example, I know that I want to end the month with 8,000 frontline volume. I know that that's what my big focus is. So I have to work backwards from that and think, okay, like if I'm going to get 8,000 frontline volume, how many clients, and if I want to get that many clients, how many health assessments will it take me to get those clients? I can say that for every about 3 health assessments I do, usually one of the 3 will want to do the program. Depending on, you know, their interest level and things like that. But so I kind of know that that's my range. I know that if I want to, you know, sign up 10 or 7 new clients, then I've got to do about 20 health assessments to make that happen. And so it's working that backwards. And if I want to do that many health assessments, then, you know, how many getting the word out calls do I need to do, or how many follow up with people? You know, you break it down into those little steps, and it becomes really effective. So I love that, you know, you mentioned the structural tension. Great question, Alina. I hope that helped a little bit. Does anyone else have questions or things they want to share?
I'll just put one more plug in for convention. If you are not signed up for convention and you've even just been thinking about it, this is a great thing to start thinking about. Okay, what if that is possible? What would that look like? What if I made that happen? And then just like we talked about with our business, okay, how much would that cost? What do I need to do to be able to go? who would I have watch my kids? Who, you know, like just actually say, okay, what would that look like if I went? And just actually moving backwards and making that all happen. So if you've been thinking about convention, you will not regret it. Definitely sign up as soon as possible so we can get room shares and everything going. That's coming up in July. So that is, you know, a great way to start thinking about your business and where you want to be with that. And that's really going to be how it grows, is getting those tools that you need.
Let's see if I raise a hand. Who is registered for convention? Just curious. Awesome. So quite a few of us. I can't see pictures of a couple. But that's good. That's awesome. I wouldn't miss convention. The only year I missed it, I had like totally worth it to go. It's the best weekend that you can spend for your business. So thank you all for getting on. Thanks for the participation in the comments. And I would just encourage you that if you don't know where to start with your goals, is to reach out to your coach, set up a mentorship meeting, or some type of meeting where you can go through those things and really evaluate what you want. And I would also say that one of the biggest differences I've noticed in my own personal growth is really making time for your own personal development and setting up, finding books and things that you really enjoy. I think that's made a huge, huge difference in my life the last few months. And if you're not doing that, I think that's a really good place to start. So thank you all. And Alina, if you want to just send me the recording, or if you want to post it too, that's great. Yep. And Liz is right. Podcasts are so amazing. If you don't love audiobooks, listen to podcasts. They're free, they're quick, and so, so powerful. Okay.
One last thing I'm going to throw in there really quick. Sorry, Cami. As I just got my book yesterday, and as I was reading it, I was like highlighting good things in there. Those are some great things that you can even share on Facebook, like some great health tips. So if you're ever wondering like what you can post, dive into that book. There's so many great gold nuggets in there that you can share. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay. Perfect, guys. Thanks.